Welcome back to Travel-Preneur, where we dive into the world of travel innovations. I'm your host, Mega McSwain. Today we have Becky Lukovic, a luxury travel designer and content creator with over 20 years of experience in the travel industry. As the founder of Bella Travel, she creates unique, bespoke itineraries that cater to her clients' interests. Becky also leads the Bella Travel Women's Travel Club, empowering women to explore the world through curated journeys. We'll discuss her approach to luxury travel, mentorship, and the future of female travel. Welcome to the show, Becky.
Oh, thank you, Mega. Thank you for having me.
For sure. Becky, how do you ensure that each itinerary at Bella Travel is a distinctive, personalized experience for your clients?
That's a really good question. We start at the very beginning. So we treat all of our travelers like individuals. And because of that, every one of our itineraries tends to be very individualistic. So we start with, sometimes I call it the 20 questions game. It may not be 20, but I even the questions I ask sometimes vary. And so a lot of times we'll have an exploratory call or an exploratory email. And then I just want my travelers to share their vision of the trip because I think that's important. And so, I don't want to just take someone and put them into what I think they should see. I want to know, what do they want to experience? Do you like art? Do you like cooking? Do you like wine? Do you want something hands-on? Would you want a Vespa tour? Do you like to hike? Do you not like to hike? Does nature give you the hives or does it jazz you? So there are, even in places like Europe and those types of places, there are opportunities to be out in nature. So everything we do is truly bespoke, and listening to their answers and understanding who they are as travelers helps us ensure that.
And has anyone brought up something that maybe you hadn't done before or offered before? When you're asking those 20 questions, I'm sure things have come up in the past where you're like, oh, that's a new one.
Yeah, there are always new things. I'm trying to think of an example. Recently, sometimes they want to have a meal in a special place, or I'm trying to think of what I haven't thought about recently. Like like a boat to take them to a private island area for a picnic, for example. And maybe I haven't done it there, but I've done it in other places. So
Right.
maybe something like that.
Can you share, I know you were thinking of examples, can you share a story or a moment that embodies the essence of the Bella travel experience? Maybe a client that gave you, just said you blew it out of the park. I mean, that was exactly what I wanted and every box was checked. Maybe a story that you can share?
Sure. We did this incentive trip last fall for a company. We don't do a ton of those, but when they're the right fit, we'll do them. And my favorite experience that we planned was when the winners first arrived into Rome. We had a vintage car experience. So they 2x2 loaded in these 1950s, 60s, 70s Italian cool, sexy cars, and they went on this drive through Rome. So that was just really cool. But the best part, the part I didn't tell them until they were actually on the road and noticed it, was because of the group size and because of my partner's connections, we were able to stop traffic in Rome for us to go through at 5 p.m.
Wow.
And so we had a police escort, we had people, the traffic stopped on the side, and we just went through like like VIP should. And then we get to the top of the viewing area, and we had this Airstream there waiting for us with aperitif cocktails and snacks right there. And then we came back through, and again, we come around to where the Coliseum is and the traffic stopped, and you just have this moment where you make the turn and you see the Coliseum right there, and the people are like, who are they? And to me, that embodies this amazing experience that the owner of the company wanted them to feel like this was their moment, and this was their moment.
That sounds amazing. Really like a bucket list moment.
For sure. For sure.
So beyond the experiences, which clearly you're amazing at, you've been instrumental in mentoring other travel professionals, particularly during the pandemic. What challenges have you helped people address, and how have those relationships shaped your own approach to your business?
Oh, for sure. I think anytime where you teach somebody or maybe come alongside and mentor somebody principles, it embodies them deeper inside you as well. Because sometimes you'll give advice and you're like, I don't do
I should
that.
take that advice, right?
It
Right.
comes out, you're like, oh, that's good. But, and so really the biggest hurdle, speed bump, I guess is a better word. The biggest speed bump that I was able to help people get over is knowing their worth and the value they bring to the table and being able to set up their business to charge fees that showed that worth, that were reflective of the wealth of knowledge, experience, connections that they have. And so that was definitely one of those. And then the other was being able to enter into the luxury landscape in travel and being able to move forward in that. Many of them already had luxury clients, but it's sometimes it's hard because you want to hold on to everything. And at some point you have to let some go and continue forward on the path that you're wanting to forge, whatever path that is. So say they want to do Africa. It's like, are there trips or there places or
This episode is brought to you by Travel-Payments.com. Travel businesses have unique needs when it comes to credit card processing. From large average ticket sizes and tolerance for higher chargeback ratios to simple integrations with the most popular shopping cart systems, the travel industry specialists at Travel-Payments.com have you covered. Unfortunately, many of the most popular credit card processors initially accept travel businesses, but without warning, freeze their merchant accounts and the thousands of dollars in them because these service providers don't understand or support the unique needs of travel industry business. Don't get stuck with one of the big guys who will freeze you out without a moment's notice. Instead, work with the travel industry specialists who will support your business every step of the way. Visit Travel-Payments.com to get a free quote today.
travelers that you need to let go so you can focus on that?
Right. And how does Bella Travel's philosophy of collaboration influence the services you provide and the community you've built? Like you said, it is important to kind of hone in on something instead of having this, just spread too thin, I guess I should say.
Yeah, for sure. Collaboration for me makes my heart happy. To me, that is the epitome of a bespoke, customized trip. It's that working together. And so for me, that's part of our value. And everybody has different models, but for me, I welcome that input. I welcome that collaboration because I want the trip to be as unique as they are. And so because of that, that collaboration and I welcome it. It's like, what do you think? It's not just, okay, you need to do XYZ. It's
Right.
like, okay, here's a
You kind
couple
of feed off of each other's ideas and
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm not, I love it when they say, "Hey, this is good, but maybe this isn't quite something that we're interested in." I love that because I learn more about them. Because
Right.
my clients, we handle their journeys trip after trip after trip, and so the more I learn about them, the better I get at knowing what's a good fit, what's not, and it just continues that relationship.
What strategies do you recommend for travel professionals seeking to pivot and thrive in the post-pandemic travel landscape? Things have changed so much in the last 4 years.
Sure, I definitely say back to know your worth. Know your worth, know the value that you bring. Don't be afraid to say that you charge a fee, or don't be afraid to say, this is where I can add value. So, and even in my own journey, I've learned the areas where I can bring value. And it's not that I don't want to help people who have maybe a budget that doesn't allow me to bring value, but I can't, there's nothing I can add to that. But in my sweet spot, there's a sweet spot both in budget and travel philosophy, all that. There's a sweet spot where I can totally add value. So I would say that would definitely be one thing. And then the other thing is hire to replace yourself and hire to your weaknesses. There's a lot of times as travel advisors, we're a one-woman show or a one-man show or one person and a booking assistant. And that's awesome. That's a great way to work. But eventually you have a ceiling. So if you're wanting to, even if you don't want a huge empire, you want a mini empire, you have to scale some, and you have to, even though there are things that you love doing, some things you have to let go.
Right.
So you
Delegate.
Yes. And if you don't have people to delegate, that there's nothing. So
Right.
that's the other biggest thing.
And with more women exploring solo and group travel, what emerging trends, if any, do you foresee in female travel, kind of as a niche industry?
Sure. That to me, that's the fun one. And that's super, super exciting because I'm seeing women who are wanting to explore the world and say their partner is either too busy or not interested in doing some of the things that they want to do, or they just want to do it with a girlfriend or on their own,
Or if they don't have a partner and
or they don't have a partner.
Right.
I mean, there's all kinds and I think there's a misconception that all female travelers are single. That's
Right.
not true either. And but I love the fact that girls' trips are no longer, hey, let's go to a beach and drink a ton of margaritas and go shopping. There's nothing wrong with drinking the margs and shopping, but they're like, hey, let's go to Peru. Let's go to Galapagos. And I want to go kayaking and snorkeling. You know, I want to go see Machu Picchu. I want to do this walking trip in the Cotswolds. I want to see the world, and I don't want to wait for somebody to come with me. And I love that. I support that fully 100%.
And there's Bella Travel Women's Travel Club. So how does that foster a supportive and adventurous community for its members? What exactly kind of goes into that?
Sure. And it's Ciao Bella. So it's Ciao Bella.
Okay.
So it's part of Bella Travel, but it's Ciao Bella. So we launched that 2 years ago. And the original vision, which we've accomplished, makes my heart happy, is we wanted to connect women who love travel, who love that engaging, curious, dig into the culture, do something fun, learn about yourself kind of travel. So we wanted to connect women with other women who liked that type of travel. So we hatched this plan to have events, and I live in Atlanta, in the greater Atlanta area, to connect women. And to me, that's the primary, is the connection. I'm not here just to fill trips and put 50, 60 people on a trip and, have a girls trip. We have small group trips so people can connect, you can learn, you can grow, you can go, oh, where are we going next? But also in Atlanta, if there's someone who right now you can't travel, but you love traveling and you love hearing about it, you want to learn some new things, then we're the club for you. We meet a handful of times a year, 5, 6, 7 times a year. And we do fun stuff.
And because it's you can't travel with everybody. So it's nice to have that group that you sort of know and you think, okay, well, I could travel with this person. Our personalities are similar. Whereas maybe you can't travel with your own sister or your own best friend or something like that just because of, conflicting personalities or whatever it could be.
Absolutely. 100%. I have dear, dear friends that I cannot travel with. And I have people who in the beginning, we might not have seemed very close, but then we travel together. It's like, wow, we really
Get
met.
closer. Yeah.
And, it's really an art. And so you're right. You can't necessarily travel with everybody. And it's fun to get to know people and in this small group setting.
And bond over that shared love of travel and adventure.
With that. And I also love, in all of our trips, I love that we have space for people to do their own thing as well. So it's like, you know what, if you want to go on a walk today and you want to go on this tour that, you found that was optional, and I want to go to a Michelin star restaurant tonight, hey, that's fine. We'll meet later. We'll talk about it. And to me, I like giving that breathing room space so people can also feel like they can be independent as well as with
What is the future of Ciao Bella? Is there how you plan to inspire women to continue exploring diverse cultures. So how do you plan to grow this kind of club? What are the plans for the future?
I dream big. So, yeah, I really think it's going to grow. So right now, even if you're not in the Atlanta area, you can still join one of our Ciao Bella trips. But I have been approached by other people who want to start a Ciao Bella in their area. And I'm like, hold on, let me get Atlanta like down and find my best practices first. And so it definitely may very well scale. That's definitely, when Becky dreams big, that's definitely in the cards.
Good. Yeah, because I think it sounds like a great idea for a lot of different cities. I'm sure a lot of people would want to take advantage of that.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Well, Becky, thank you so much for sharing your insights and your journey with us today. Your expertise in crafting luxury travel and empowering women, especially, really shines through your work. And we're so, I personally am glad to have people like you doing stuff like that, because it kind of takes people like me who may be nervous about traveling alone. It takes us out of our comfort zone. And I think that's really important. So thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome.
Let our listeners know where they can learn more about Ciao Bella and Bella Travel, and where they can contact you on, as far as your website or LinkedIn.
Absolutely. So there's 3 really good ways to get a hold of me. So the first one is via my website, mybellatravel.com. And the secondly is my Instagram. My Instagram is mybellatravel. So you'll see all my travel pictures, you'll see pictures of food, just all kinds of fun things on there. And then also my Facebook page, which would be Bella Travel Planning. So those 3 places are the best place for you to get in touch with me.
Great. Yeah. And it sounds like good accounts to follow too. I love travel and food pages.
Me too.
Wonderful. Well, to our listeners, thank you so much for listening today. Please leave a review and share your thoughts on today's conversation. And until next time, keep exploring and embracing new opportunities in the world of travel.